Hey everybody, so in today's video we're going to create this stopwatch program using Python's PyQt5 library. If you've been following the PyQt5 series up until this point, you can skip ahead to the following timestamp, where we've already set up a basic application. You just have to make some minor changes. If you're new to this series or new to this channel, you will need the PyQt5 package found within your Site Packages folder. If you don't have this package, you can open up a terminal to download it. You can use pip, which is Python's package manager, install PyQt5. But I already do have it installed. Once that's out of the way, you will need the following imports. Import sys. Sys means system. It handles system variables for your Python interpreter. We will need the following widgets. From PyQt5, access the module of QTWidgets. Widgets are the building blocks of a PyQt5 application. We will import the following widgets: QApplication, QWidget, QLabel, QPushButton, QVBoxLayout, and QHBoxLayout. Let me put these on a new line just so we can read everything. From the package of PyQt5, access Qt core. We will import QTimer. Our timer will emit a signal after a given interval, which is what we need for a stopwatch. QTime to keep track of the time, and Qt for alignment. Let's do a test run to be sure that there's no errors. Looks like L in label should be capital. There we go. No errors. Once you have the following imports, we will construct a class of stopwatch, which will inherit from the base class of QWidget. Our stopwatch will be a widget. We will need a constructor. We'll define that. Dunder init. No arguments besides self. If we have arguments to pass to the parent of QWidget, we will call the superclass the parent. Call the constructor of the parent. No arguments currently. Now, if we are running this file directly, we'll use an if statement to verify that. If dunder name is equal to a string of dunder main, if this is true, if we are running this file directly, then we will construct a stopwatch. We will create an app object, call the constructor within the QApplication class, pass in the following: access sys, our system, access argv, which means arguments. This is if we're using command line arguments, which we won't be using, but it's nice to future-proof our code just in case we do in the future. We will create a stopwatch object. Stopwatch equals, call the constructor within our class of stopwatch. Our window is not going to show unless we call the show method. Take our stopwatch, call the show method. Now our window is only going to show for a brief second. We need to ensure a clean exit. We can access sys, call the exit method, pass in the following: app, then call the exec underscore method. This method starts the main event loop and handles events. So then we should have a basic window, which stays in place until we close it. We now have the main skeletal structure of a PyQt5 application set up. If you're one of the people that have jumped ahead up until this point, we have a class of stopwatch, which inherits from the QWidget class. We've constructed a stopwatch object, and we're showing it. So now we can begin designing our stopwatch. We will create a time object, self.time equals, call the constructor within the class of QTime. For arguments, we'll pass in the hours, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds, all 0. We need a label for the stopwatch. Self.timeLabel equals, call the constructor of QLabel. What would we like the text to say? I'll display some placeholder text. A bunch of zeros. 0 hours, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds. We will add this label to self, our stopwatch. We need a start button, self.setLayout. button equals call the constructor within QPushButton, what would we like the text of the button to say? Let's say start. We are adding this button to self, our stopwatch. We need a stop button. Let's replace start with stop, change the text from start to stop, and reset. The name of this button will be the reset button. The text will be reset. We will need a timer to emit a signal at a given interval. Self.timer equals call the constructor within the class QTimer, then pass in self. We're going to call a method of initializeUI, self.initUI. But we still have to define this method. Alright, within our stopwatch class, we need the following methods. A method of initUI. This is where we'll be designing the user interface. I'll write pass for now as a placeholder. We need a method to start the stopwatch, that is. A method to stop the stopwatch. A method to reset the stopwatch. We'll create a method to format our time. Format time. Besides self, there's one parameter. We have to pass in a time to format. We will be returning a string representation of the current time. And a method to update our display. Update display. Here are the 6 methods we'll need. Within our initialize user interface method, we will set the title of the window, because right now it says Python. We will take self, our stopwatch, call the setWindowTitle method, and we will pass in stopwatch. That should change the title of the window to stopwatch. We're going to use a vertical layout manager for the label and the buttons. We will create a layout manager named vbox. vbox equals call the constructor of QVBoxLayout. We will take our layout manager and add the following widgets. Self.time label, then our start, stop, and reset buttons. Start button, stop button, and reset button. We will take self, set the layout, pass in our vertical layout manager. So we have all of our buttons. We have our widgets arranged in a column. We're going to take our time label and also center it horizontally. We will take our time label, self.timeLabel, call the setAlignment method, access our class of Qt, access the flag of AlignCenter. That's going to center align the time. It should be aligned both vertically and horizontally. Now with your buttons, they're arranged in a column. We could group them together horizontally. Here's how. We will create a horizontal layout manager of HBox. HBox equals call the constructor of QHBoxLayout. Instead of adding these buttons directly to our vertical layout manager, let's cut them, paste them underneath HBox, replace vbox with HBox. Then with our vertical layout manager, vbox, we will add our layout of HBox. This group of buttons is arranged vertically with the time label. Now we'll be applying a style sheet. Access self, our stopwatch, call the setStyleSheet method. We can pass in one extremely long string with a set of triple quotes, All of the CSS-like properties we'll add will do so between the set of triple quotes. Let's select our buttons. QPushButton. We are selecting an entire class. Within a set of curly braces, let's add the property of font size. The font size of all buttons will be 50 pixels. Let's customize our label. Select the class of QLabel. Within a set of curly braces, let's add the following properties. Font size will be 120. If you would like, we can add a background color too to the label. We can select a background color. Temporarily, I will select blue, but we can pick more specific shades of blue or another color. Here's how. You can look up a color picker and select a very specific color. You can use hex values, RGB, or HSL. I've already selected a color. I'm going to copy these HSL values. So instead of a color name, we will select HSL, then paste those values. If you have a degree symbol, you will need to remove that. And now we have a very specific shade of blue. I will also round the corners of our label. Add the property of border radius. I will set that to be 20 pixels. This will round the corners. Between each button and label, we'll add some padding. We're going to use multiple selectors. We will select all push buttons and all labels. Apply the following properties to each. I will add padding of 20 pixels around these widgets. And I will also make the font weight bold. Font weight will be bold. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. Hey, this is Bro from the future. I am currently editing this video. If you would like, you can add a font family. One font that I think looks really good is Calibri. We'll apply that to all push buttons and Q labels. I really like this font. I think it fits a stopwatch, but it's up to you if you would like to change the font. I just thought I would mention that. Now we just have to add some functionality, because these buttons don't do anything. For each of our buttons, we have to connect a signal to a slot. We will take our start button, self.startButton. With the signal of clicked, we will connect the following slot. We will call the start method, self.startMethod. Let's do this with the stop button. Change start to stop. Clicked, connect, self.stopMethod. Reset. Self.resetButton. Call the reset method. At a given interval, we're going to update our display. Self.timer. During a signal of timeout, we will connect the following method, self.updateDisplay. Self.updateDisplay. Within our start method, we will take our timer, self.timer, call the start method, pass in 10 for 10 milliseconds. We will set an interval for a timeout every 10 milliseconds. Within our stop method, we will take our timer and instead call the stop method. We'll get back to reset in just a moment. Let's work on the format time method. From our time that we pass in, we have to get the hours, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds. We will create some local variables. Hours equals access our time that we pass in, call the hour method to return hours. We have variable minutes, time dot call the minute method to return the minutes. We have a variable of seconds, seconds equals take our time, call the second method. Then for milliseconds, access our time, call the MSEC, which means milliseconds, and call it this is a method. I'm going to return a string, an F string, to represent the time. We will add 4 placeholders. hours, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds. Each will be separated with a colon, except for milliseconds, which will be a dot, a period. We will display the hours. I'll add some leading zeros, 2 leading zeros. Let's do this for minutes. We're using a format specifier for 2 leading zeros as well. Seconds. And milliseconds. Now we will work on the update display method. We have to get the time. Self.time equals, we will take our time, but call the add milliseconds method, MSECS, then pass in 10 for 10 milliseconds. We're going to take our time label, self.time label, and set the text of it. We will call our format time method, but we have to pass in a time. We will be passing in self.time. Let's see what we have currently. We can start the stopwatch, and we can stop it. However, we're displaying 3 digits for the milliseconds. We can eliminate that. Within format time, when we get the milliseconds, we will use integer division. We will divide by 10. This will convert our milliseconds from 3 digits to 2. We're basically dividing by 10. So here's our stopwatch currently. We can start, we can stop, we can start again, and we can stop again. Now we just need to reset. Here's how. Within the reset method, we will take our timer, self.timer, use the stop method to stop. We will reassign our time, call the constructor of QTime. We have to pass in hours, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds. They're all going to be 0. We're resetting our time. And then we'll reset the text again of our time label. Self.time label, call the set text method. When we set the text, we will first format it with the format time method, but we have to pass in a time. We will pass in self.time. And now we should be able to reset our stopwatch. We can start, we can stop, we can reset, start again, and stop again. All right, everybody, so that is a cool stopwatch that you can make using Python.